You're live. There we go.
Hello, Clarice.
Hey, y'all. It was bath day here.
Took showers today.
Craig. What's up, Craig?
Hey, Craig.
Leo, if you're still there, I see that first comment.
I got
is it Brian and Pam, or is it Pam and Brian? We've had this discussion before with friends. Really?
I come first.
Do men? Is it? I wonder if it's. Oh. I wonder if it's just guys that do that. But when all of our couple friends, we always refer to them
Craig
as
and
man and woman.
I say Melissa and
Does
Taylor.
everybody do that?
Or Taylor and
really?
Melissa. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I say both.
Craig's turn, top billing. Should it go away? Oh, rain.
Are we gonna...
Well, we'd let it go away for sure.
Michelle.
Hey, that's Terry and Michelle.
Not Terry?
So.
Terry and Michelle.
Yeah,
I just said Michelle and Terry.
Right.
Said Michelle and Terry. And Bill and Yvonne.
Okay, there's Bill and Yvonne. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to another exciting live with
Arizona.
Hey, there's Warren. Haven't seen him in a little while.
See.
What's up, Warren?
Hey, is it too early to start saying?
She's not brain.
I'm not sure if I have a brain sometimes.
Got my snacks. Mega Royal.
I wanted to drink, but...
You didn't make one?
No, I had a little shot.
There's a shocker. Oh, she had a shot.
Yeah,
well, that counts.
I'm not alcoholic or anything. I had snacks earlier, but I wanted to think of some funny stories.
Pam doesn't want to talk about any real stuff. She just wants to talk about stories. She just wants to tell stories.
We're waiting for people to filter in.
People are. At least it's not so hot, sort of. It's okay.
It's all right.
It's a little muggy. It's not too bad. Welcome home, Warren.
Took showers. I put on a little face today.
Paul, welcome.
Put on some face.
Yeah, we're both. Oh, I got. Anybody notice? Boom.
Cat ears. Now all I can think of is cat ears.
Yeah, you can't see it here, but my sister. So we went up to Phoenix a few days. Well, actually, almost a week ago now. And my sister likes to call this my cat ears.
I'm getting some cat ears myself up here.
Oh, sorry,
It falls
Warren.
out anymore.
Warren's got a bad signal.
Sure. That's what I always say. Just kidding, Warren. Are we going to talk about the funny stories that
You can do whatever you want. Pam's going to launch right into stories, everybody, but throw us a question if you got. Oh, first question. Bill says, how did it look when you got back? Not bad. When we left, we can leave to visit family anytime, so that's not, we have a reason to go anytime, but we did, kind of knowing some rain was coming and knowing there could be a decent amount, we left on Thursday last week. And we put on a video today. I don't know if everybody got a chance to see it, but it had a little bit of the footage driving up there. Our drive up there was a little rough. But so we thought we'd get 2 straight days of rain, which I guess we kind of did, but I guess it wasn't super hard. So definitely saturated here. The roads, we took the car and we got back in the car.
I'm going to turn this.
It wasn't real pretty. It was a little muddy, of course. But we made it all the way back in the car, and we had prepared. I had left the truck on the other side of the wash just in case. And we had brought mud boots and the whole deal just in case the roads, about the last mile is dirt. So we weren't sure how we would do, but we made it all the way back in the car. And I actually waited till the next day to bring the truck over just to give it a little extra time to dry out, but much better than we were afraid of. So it worked out really well. We're definitely wet. We're greening up a ton, as I'm sure everybody around here is. Leo said he's getting some sprinkles right now. We're good right now, but there's clouds threatening. They've been threatening for a little while now, for a couple of hours. But not sure if it's going to rain or not. Not at the moment. Is it story time? Pam wants to tell stories. I don't know. They might be completely out of left field.
You're poo-pooing on
Pam's,
it seems like.
Well, I don't mind.
I told Craig. There were a couple that Craig came up in. Well, I've thought of another one about Craig.
They're all about Craig.
We've known Craig for a long time.
He's a big dumb animal, folks.
And hey, Taylor, Melissa. Hey,
Melissa.
So Craig we went on a trip with Craig and Nikki, and we were hiking in the woods and across a tree. Remember the tree?
Oh, all right. There's several hiking stories, actually. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, he went across and he
like
fell
he walked.
in.
You didn't make that very clear. So there was a tree had fallen across a.
I don't like to tell my stories.
I'd rather they just not mean anything.
There is a.
All right, enough with that.
There's something flying around. I don't like it. Okay, so it was a creek.
So yeah, there was a tree had fallen down across a creek. It was a good 3 or 4. 3 or 4. Good one, Craig.
Did I just stab you? I'm sorry. It was like Dirty Dancing.
3 or 4, maybe more feet off the ground. Picture Dirty Dancing, that tree they were on. And Craig thought he could walk across it without falling, and he was wrong.
And I took a picture right as he was falling in. I got a grape. I got a grape. Grape snapshot.
I got a grape snapshot.
And let's see what there was another one with Craig.
Hey, Milan and Dad.
Hello. I'm telling stories about Craig. The one where Nikki was in front of me.
Nikki did it just fine.
Yeah, Nikki went and her legs are shorter than
She's much lower to the ground. In her defense.
The one where Craig was slamming the ice chest at the party. Only it wasn't like he was treating the ice chest like it was on like hydraulics or something, and he kept slamming the lid, and we're like, dude, it doesn't have
a nice, not an igloo cooler or anything. It was a nice wooden Corona ice chest,
like metal inside.
And he had a few drinks, and he started slamming. He probably slammed it once or twice accidentally, and once he knew that I noticed it and didn't like it, then he started to do it on purpose because he's a jerk like that.
Bam, doing it on purpose, and we're like, "You're out of here!"
He got the boot.
And then they broke a glass bottle on the garage in the garage, and they're like, "Uh-oh."
I think it was an accident.
It was an accident, but Nikki's like, "They're never going to have us back again."
If only we were smart enough to never have them back again.
The other one with Craig. Are you gonna tell?
You tell whatever you want. I'm not telling. You're the storyteller.
When he worked at Lockheed Martin.
Every time except the last time. No. You did like 10 after you knew it bothered me. All right. Anyway.
When they used to work at Lockheed, Brian would tell me that he would go to the bathroom, and Brian goes to the bathroom like once a day.
Rarely.
He's got
rarely
like a camel. I picture his bladder is like this big, and mine is this big. Go to the bathroom, and apparently there would be somebody snoring in the bathroom. They were sleeping in there. No way, I was drinking. I'm a big dumb animal.
It turned out, I don't think he was my boss at the time, but he was later on. He was my boss, and he was asleep in the bathroom in a stall. So
what was the other thing
that probably wasn't all that uncommon? I'm guessing for multiple people at that job. I don't know.
What else happened when you went into the bathroom? Tell me.
No.
Tell me what.
No. Tell me what happened.
He said that these guys, well, apparently they were saving up all day.
Anyone who's ever been in a men's restroom, I guess, can guess. It wasn't a pretty place. I avoid public restrooms as much as possible.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
Are you done now? Did
you
get it out?
I don't know. What were we talking about earlier that I was dying laughing? They were all about Craig, but I thought there was one.
Good job, Craig. It's all about Craig.
It's Craig's turn.
It's Craig's turn.
His last name is, you can see his last name.
As you can see from the chat, his name is Craig's turn.
Grunts and grunts. That's funny. Anyway, what happened? What happened after that?
What did we do this week? Is that you want to talk about what we did this week? What did we do this week? I just like that drive up to Phoenix.
I didn't like it.
So, I didn't realize it was that funny. Well,
I could probably go on. There's a lot more I could tell that I can't tell. I could tell, but I can't
There's a
tell.
lot more I can tell, but I can't tell. So if anybody got to see the video today, I didn't realize until we saw the footage that the footage in the car doesn't begin to do it justice of our trip up to Phoenix. It was so bad. Even when we were stopped on the side of the road, I was scared for my life. The wind blew so hard. There were a couple things. The wind blew so hard, I thought our car would literally be pushed even when we were sitting still, just slide into a ditch or something. Now Craig's trying to get me in on this. I won't be pulled in. So
I'll pull it.
Also, I thought the windshield wipers might just rip off, and then I was imagining, how are we going to get to Phoenix with no windshield wipers? Because the wind was so hard. I thought the wipers might
the car was like, it felt like the car was being blown over.
And we had, you could kind of hear it in the video, but again, it didn't really do it justice. There was hail coming down. It sounded like rocks hitting the car. I thought our windshield might crack.
I did too.
All of these things, and I don't know. We had to be on the side of the road maybe 30 minutes. I mean, it was bad. And then even when we went, we tried going a couple times and pulled right back off. And then even when we finally did go, we pulled off at an exit. And that exit, of course, was swamped and the power was out. I mean, it was bad.
I had to go. And of course, I had to go to the bathroom.
It took us, and they locked their doors, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, their doors were locked.
It took us 4 hours to make a 2.5 hour drive.
So, there's going to be some looting.
I mean, I'm glad we went, because we would have just sat in the trailer and apparently it didn't rain as hard here as I was afraid of. It rained a lot, I guess, but I don't think it rained super hard.
Well, we hadn't been to Sherry's in a long time.
And we hadn't been up in a little while.
I wanted to go up there because I had this painting that I left the painting behind.
Didn't even bring it. Probably because of the way we left. I mean, we didn't leave in a hurry because, we got ready for it pretty much all day, but it was a little nerve-wracking because of the weather. We were worried that we'd be able to get out when it was time to leave because we wanted to take the car. And so we didn't know how the roads were going to be. It worked out okay, but
it never occurred to me that we might run into a storm.
Well,
I just thought
apparently before we left, there were people saying it was raining in Tucson, so I was worried about Tucson. And when we made it past Tucson, I thought, oh, we lucked out. It moved on before we got there. And then it was after Tucson that we got hit.
We could see it in the distance. It looked like a hurricane.
And we went also, we went to my sister's house, but we went also to see the kids. And we were originally going to go to the kids' house first and to Taylor's work. And because of the weather, because of how long that trip took us, we didn't go to the kids' house or to Taylor's work. So we went right to my sister's place. Now, luckily, the next day, Timmy came over and spent some time with us. So we got to see Tim, but
yeah.
So no questions
I miss
yet.
my baby girl.
What are these pre-sleep habits? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh! Show them what you do.
No, I won't.
I'll show them.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what he does.
Lockheed, are you an aircraft mechanic?
I thought it was cute in the beginning.
Not a mechanic. I think. Well, Craig wasn't a mechanic. I think Craig worked on aircraft before he went to Lockheed. But Craig and I were both software engineers at Lockheed, so coders mostly. For Lockheed.
I had a lot of fun there.
It was a blast.
Oh, I know what story.
For a while.
I forgot about it. The one where I tried to do a magic act at your Christmas party.
There's a Lockheed story. Christmas party. So, okay, so yeah, good story. So the best part of the story is the fact, or the worst part of the story, depending on who, for me, is the worst part of the story. Leading up to this Christmas party, Pam and I had been together maybe a year or two at this point. I don't know. Not that long.
I thought it was longer.
Really? Anyway, not this is back in the day, not a lot of money, kind of just.
I think we've been together like 4 years.
Not a lot of, the point is not a lot of money. Here was the big deal. The big deal for this particular Christmas party was it was at a nice resort in Phoenix, and we were going to get a hotel room at the resort, which was a big deal for me, right? So leading up to the party, for weeks before the Christmas party, I'm telling everybody at work, we're getting a room after the party or during the party or whatever. We're gonna go back to the room after the party. And we're gonna play cards. Yeah, we're gonna have an after party basically at our room. It's gonna be so awesome. That's the worst part of this story. because I played it up so much. So everybody that came knew that I don't know if everybody was excited about it as I was, but they knew I was excited about it. So Pam, because we had a room, we got there beforehand also, before the party, to get ready. We checked into our room and had a couple drinks. Well, Pam tried a new beer recommended by a friend of ours.
New.
And
I had it before, but never a full one.
So
and I had two.
These were big beers. So they were tall and they have high alcohol content, right?
Yeah, but see, I was nervous because I get real nervous if I'm going to a big crowd of people.
And also, I don't think you knew what to expect from these beers.
So I wanted to relax.
So she had a beer
was I
or
relaxed.
two. Did you have two of those?
I think I had two.
Which, two of those beers is probably like four drinks that Pam would normally have.
So I was gone.
So yeah, by the time we get to the party, and it's, dinner beforehand and everything,
And I was on an empty stomach.
Pam's barely hanging on, right? So after dinner, I think it was after dinner. So we're at tables of, I don't know, maybe 10 people, right? 5, 6 couples, they're pretty big tables.
Brian Stern, where's Brian Stern?
Brian Stern was there. I haven't seen him on here yet, but so we get through dinner. And you could tell she was a little off even during dinner. But then after dinner, there's dancing. So now normally for me, if I go out and dance a little bit, I might sweat some things off and calm down a little bit. But Pam, so we went out on the dance floor and danced, and I don't remember how that went. But when we came back to the table, most of the people at our table were out on the dance floor. I think everybody but
remember Angelica,
Brian's wife at the time. And when we got back to the table, Pam stumbled back to the table, and I literally had to catch her pretty much when we got back to the table, and she fell to the table and kind of grabbed the and gave it a pretty decent yank. So there was everything on the table was moving.
I tried to do a magic trick.
And during dinner, Pam was eating food off of other people's plates. Oh, and the president of the company was like one table over from us at this point. So anyway, after Pam stumbles back to the table, almost pulls the whole tablecloth off.
I just remember things falling.
I had to pretty much drag her out of there.
He caught me.
So we have to go outside and walk through the parking lot to get to our room. And she's crying the whole time. Basically, she now realizes what's going on. And we get back to the room, and she's a mess. And she pretty much passes out right away.
I missed the rest. I missed the after party.
Then everybody who I had been telling that it was going to be so great when we went after this party came to the room knowing that I couldn't do anything and knowing that my night was ruined. They came to the room and knocked on the door and said, "Hey, is it time to party?" And so,
whose room did you go back to?
It was our room.
No, I'm saying whose room did you end up going to?
Oh, so after that, I was sitting in the room. So they went to another room, someone else's room, and started trying to have fun. But Craig ended up calling me and saying, "It's boring over here. We're not having any fun. You need to come over here." And Pam is passed out. She's not going anywhere. But I'm just sitting there, right, watching TV or something. So I went over to the other room, and we made a party over there. We made it happen.
Yeah, that was real fun.
But yeah, Pam basically ruined that. That's when Pam really. I don't think Pam's ever really gotten.
It was Doug's fault.
I don't think you've ever really gotten out of control after that.
I was like, I'm never letting
that was the one.
Again.
That was the turning point that Pam knew she couldn't do that again.
I can't ever drink that much.
And that
again.
at this point, it's got to be pushing 20 years ago.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. I haven't learned my lesson yet.
Oh yeah, the dominoes. When you threw dominoes at me.
That never happened.
No.
You have no
threw dominoes.
You have no video evidence of that. So anyway,
Craig and Nikki were there for that one. Look, it's all Craig.
See, it's all Craig.
Everybody laughed.
So I don't know. So Pam wanted to have story time. Somebody asked about stories last week, so Pam wanted to tell stories. So
David, and David's not here yet. Oh well, he can go back and watch the beginning.
So let's talk about what happened this week. So we got some weather. Obviously, we left for a couple of days. We came back, not that bad. We've had some more rain since yesterday. Looked really nasty. Bill would know this. It looked really bad. Turned out not to be as bad as it looked. Boy, it looked like it was going to be.
We did get some.
Really
How much
bad.
did I tell you?
We got rained on 2/10 or something, a little less than a quarter. But man, the sky looked really, really scary.
The domino trip was the same one that you laughed at her. Oh, no. Those are two separate places, Craig. Remember, the first one where he threw the dominoes was another one.
This didn't happen.
The other one was Sonoran Sky. That's where I fell. I slipped in the sand.
Oh, that was in Mexico.
I fell backwards and hit my head on a cement trash can.
Oh, I guess apparently they were both in Mexico.
And Brian said, "She's fine."
You were fine.
Craig. Well, I was
put
just
some dirt on it.
There. I was seeing stars, but Craig said, "Shine the light in her eyes and see if her pupils are dilated or something." But Brian's like, leave her in the dirt. In the sand.
So I don't know if this is a good or a bad discussion, but
what?
Well, the whole thing. I mean, if people like story time or not.
Do you guys like story time? Other people said they liked stories. I don't know. I just thought we'd mix it up a little bit.
Oh.
I mean, there's not a whole lot happening around here.
All right. So there is actually.
Yeah. I forgot.
So I bought the parts. I put them in the video today. I haven't connected them yet. I need to paint them. Well, I'm going to put them together first and then paint them, I guess. But I've also been looking at gutter stuff. Maybe someone on here can help me. I did a little looking today. I kind of want to. I haven't found a good place. I take that back. I finally did find a good place, but it doesn't have exactly the answer I'm looking for. So let me throw the question out there. So when you have a certain amount of roof being collected into a gutter, and then you want to transport that water. No, I haven't tried the pump yet, Craig. When you want to transport that water horizontally, so for example, you can take a gutter and pipe it down underground and bring it to a cistern, somewhere else and have it come back up, and that'll be like a wet system, right? As long as the cistern is lower than the gutter, that'll work. But if you want and I guess this is kind of the same issue, but if you want to take that water right out of the gutter and take it horizontally and drop it into a tank, and yeah, it'll have some drop to it so that it can flow just like plumbing would underground or anything. But my question is, what's the equation or rule of thumb or whatever that allows me to know that based on X amount of roof space, I need a PVC pipe of a certain diameter so that it won't back up, so that it won't fill. And just, so I went looking for that over the last couple of days, and I ended up in the plumbing code, like the universal plumbing code or something. I would imagine the residential building code probably references it, but a lot of other stuff actually makes its way right into the building code, but this one didn't seem to. There was a table in the universal plumbing code that would talk about how many inches of rain per hour that a certain pipe size could handle, and how big of a roof it could do that for, how much square footage of roof it could do that for on a horizontal run. And the table, there were a couple different tables depending on how much you sloped that pipe when you were traveling horizontally. If it was 1/8 of an inch per foot, you could move so much water off of a roof at a 1 inch of rain per hour. At a 1/4 of an inch per foot, you could move a little more, and at a 1/2 inch per foot, you could move a little more. So
yes,
I did go back and look at Derek's video. Basically what Derek said in his video, I think, was he said you basically want to have a 4-inch pipe for every 1,500 square feet of roof. He was building a rain roof that was about 3,000 square feet, and he used 2 4-inch pipes underground. But I don't know where he got this, but I guess it sounds like a rule of thumb to me, but it was a 4-inch pipe for every 1,500 square feet of roof. The thing I was looking at was a little more precise. Basically, what it said in the code was, this is the universal plumbing code. It's basically, it had you look up for your location. It said you should be able to handle a 100-year storm for 60 minutes. So basically in this table for different locations, and the closest one on us was Tucson. And it said the 100-year storm for 60 minutes would drop a certain amount of inches per hour. So basically it had tables that were, it was either 1 inch per hour, 2 inches per hour, 3 inches per hour, whatever, up to, I don't know how high it went up, but the Tucson number was 3 inches per hour. So this other table that talked about the different sizes of pipe at the different slopes said that, so you would look in the 3-inch per hour column and it would say at 3 inches per hour, you can drain without backing up this square footage of roof through this particular size of pipe at this slope. So that's the best thing that's exactly what I want, actually. The problem with that is it only went down to 3-inch pipe, 3-inch PVC pipe. And for 3-inch pipe at 3 inches of rain per hour, at an 1/8 of an inch slope, it was something like almost 900 square feet, which is about the size of pretty close to the size of my roof, or it might have been 1,000 square feet, which is about the size of my carport, which is fine. But if you sloped it more than that, if you sloped it a half or a 1/4 inch per foot or a 1/2 inch per foot, it could handle more square footage. So my question was, could I actually drop down to maybe 2-inch pipe? So these tables had exactly the information I wanted in them, but they didn't tell how the calculation was done. So I couldn't do my own calculation for anything smaller than 3-inch pipe. I'd like to know if I could use smaller than 3-inch pipe to transfer the water from the gutter over to the storage tank. And the reason I'm asking is because 2-inch pipe is a lot cheaper than 3-inch pipe. So anyway, I did find in these tables that 3-inch pipe would be plenty good, and I could use that, but I could save a decent amount of money. Well, I mean, I might not even use that much PVC, so maybe I'll just use 3-inch pipe anyway. But anyway, that's what I was looking for. If anybody out there has any knowledge along those lines, feel free to share it. But that's what I found in the Universal Plumbing Code. But it was hard whenever you Google, transferring rainwater or gutter water in PVC pipes. Basically, what you get is people moving it underground, dropping it out of the gutter underground and moving it underground. A lot of times just taking it somewhere and dumping it, right? Not even collecting it, really. Which is sort of the same thing. It's just, unfortunately, the answer is usually use 4-inch pipe. They don't talk about why. They don't talk about the volume that can handle. They basically just say, use 4-inch pipe. That's kind of the standard. So, and of course that would work in my circumstance. But again, it's a little more money than I think I need to spend. So I know I can definitely go, based on the numbers I saw, I can definitely go down to 3-inch pipe. And I was wondering if I could go even further. If I knew how to do the calculation myself, I would see if I could go even smaller. But I'm in wet Oregon and 3 inches is standard, says Terry and Michelle. I'm very sure I could go down to 3 inches, but I don't want to know if I can go further. So I guess I have to figure out my slope first. I do have to figure out actually how much drop I have from where the gutter comes off the carport to the actual lid of and they really don't talk about bends either, because I'm sure 90 degree, anywhere you have 90 degree turns in there, or any turns really, but especially a 90 degree, has got to cause some trouble. So hopefully everybody follows what I'm saying. But the idea is, if I use too small of a pipe, obviously the rain starts to flow, it fills the gutter, it goes in the pipe, and it can't make it through the pipe before it basically fills up and just backs up and starts overflowing over the gutter. So that's obviously what I'm trying to avoid.
So do you know what size you're going to use? I
know that 3-inch will work. I'm still curious if I could use smaller. And the reason I don't know is because all I have is a table that only goes down to 3 inches. I don't have an equation that tells me how to compute that number myself. So I'm curious if anyone out there knows that information, because I looked for it and couldn't find it. But I was pretty happy when I found that table, but I wish they would go even smaller to show how much you could move with smaller PVC. So anyway, that's some of what I've been doing. We're doing kind of two things right now, or I'm working on two things right now. I'm trying to get the gutters set up to fill the tanks, and we're trying to switch over to using the storage tanks with that simple pumping system, which isn't smart at all. It's just a plug it in to turn it on and fill the RV tank, and then unplug it to stop. So I'd be interested in hearing from Jim on this. I know Jim's not here right now.
The pipe is still together.
I don't know if he's done some of these, but we're still using. For the moment, we're still using the. We actually just today filled our RV tank from the well, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. It's just that as the weather gets worse, or if it happens more often, it'd be nice to make the transition to the storage tanks and have a little less of a connection that we have to worry about.
It's not a great solution, but it's a solution. I
think Jim is using 4-inch pipe. Well, Jim's got a lot of roof too, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jim's using 4-inch pipe.
It's hot.
And like I said, I feel 99% confident that 3-inch would be enough, but I'm curious if I can step down further. And I'll admit it's to save a little money, but if it's wrong, I won't do it. But if I could, I'd like to. I just don't know if I can go that small. I don't know if a 2-inch pipe will just fill and then back up and overflow the gutter, and then I'm losing all that water. So I don't want to do that, but I'd like to know the calculation. Anyway, that's some of what I've been looking at. I've been looking at the simple plumbing just to make a kind of a dumb pump system. Really, I just had to make the connection from the tank outlet to the pump inlet, but that took several pieces to get there. And then out of that is a garden hose just into our RV tank. That pump is just simple. It's got no pressure switch on it or anything like that. You plug it in, it turns on. You unplug it, it turns off. And that'll be fine for a little while. But then our next step would be to tee off after that pump and add a pressure tank and a pressure switch so that we can get that to do that automatically for us. So, but we should be able to take that next step pretty easily. Like I said, I just have to paint some of the pieces because they're PVC and they'll be out in the sun. So I got to paint them and connect them. So that's that. What else?
I don't know. I made some videos. That's what I've been doing. Mainly putting video stuff together.
What was in your last video or your couple videos this week? Did you make a couple videos this week?
The one
you made the one.
Today,
She made the one we put out. I modified it a little bit. We both put it together.
How often would you expect to finish?
You can probably get away with the 2-inch pipe. You're probably right. I guess I wish I could do the calculation. I have a feeling that I can get away with 2-inch pipe. I just wish I could do the calculation that tells me what I can handle with a 2-inch pipe. How much rain per hour, how many inches per hour of a storm could I handle? Because really, I mean, we do get some hard storms, and we will get an inch or two per hour in a storm, but and we could probably even get 3 inches in an hour. But Dad says to ask the guy that you bought the tanks from. That's not a bad idea. He might know that answer.
I said that too.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, oh no, you didn't say exactly that. You when I ask about anything, actually, I think you were actually talking about the plumbing out of the rainwater tank. This is about the gutters, but he may know the answer to the gutter thing. Oh, I thought of another funny story. You should tell the story about where it's going to go. Oh, this is a building story, which is not that old, actually. Yeah.
Where's it going to go?
So Craig and I have been saying, where's it going to go now? A bunch. That's our latest mantra, basically, right? So some of you, if you've watched some of our videos, you know that I have, whenever I build things with wood, I often have this dilemma, much like this problem I'm having right now of trying to figure out what a certain diameter pipe can handle. I have this dilemma about wood. It's hard, at least I think, it's hard to find out what a piece of wood can actually support, right? There are tables, I get it, there are span tables, but they are geared towards either being a single joist, floor joist in a system of floor joists spaced some amount apart, or a rafter in a ceiling, a set of rafters that are spaced some amount apart. You know, those tables will tell you what a particular size board can support over a certain span, you know, or what kind of distance it can span. But what those tables don't tell you is if it's not a floor joist system or a roof rafter system, those tables don't really tell you. If I just have one piece of wood or two pieces of wood supporting something from this point to this point, you know, how big does that piece of wood need to be and how much weight can it support?
Hello again, Taylor.
I've never had any luck finding that stuff. Anyway, that to get to the point of when I asked Craig, you know, this thing, you know, I was building actually the solar mount, and I was spanning, I forget what the distance was, either 12 or 16 feet. It was a pretty good distance. And we were trying to figure out whether to use a 2x6 or a 2x8 or a 2 by whatever, right? I can't remember the details. But when I told Craig I was afraid that it might sag, he says, well, he pictures the two pieces on the end and that this piece of wood is connected to them. And in his mind, those things can't go anywhere. He says, this can't sag unless these do something, right? So So every time I would ask him the question about what was going to happen if I put too much weight on this thing or if I tried to span too long of a distance, he would say, well, where's it going to go? His point was the wood can't go anywhere. It can't do anything. Well, what he didn't account for is that wood is made up of fibers, and there is somewhere for it to go. What wood will actually kind of, the fibers will actually stretch. Now, it didn't break, but it bent and it sagged. And when I told Craig it sagged, he was like, what? So that's our joke now, that when Craig puts pieces of wood together, or when I put pieces of wood together and I question Craig about whether they're going to hold or support, his thing is, well, where's it going to go? It can't go anywhere unless this happens. But that's not really true. Wood is not steel, I guess is the point, right? So wood is fibrous, and it can do things.
It can go somewhere.
It can go somewhere. There is somewhere for it to go. Did I get that right, Craig? Anyway, yes, that's our big joke now. Is we say it all the time. Where's it going to go? Anyway, Pam likes that one.
I've never heard that one before.
You've heard us say it, but was that Brian says?
That was
that a funny story? Shut up, Brian.
Hey, Brian Stern.
Another Stern.
Hey, we were talking about. We thought of a funny story with Brian Stern in it.
It was the Lockheed Christmas party story. Brian was there for that. He's well aware.
No, when we were in the bowling league and Brian Stern had a few drinks, and
you're gonna have to be more specific.
He shook the one guy's hand 2 times. Like he went and introduced himself 2 times. He's like, "Hi, I'm Brian." Was
that that? I don't think that was at bowling. I think
it was after bowling.
That was after. That was yet another after party.
It was another after party. The after party. No.
So
that was when we were young and stupid.
What's your high game? I knew it. I knew it was coming.
Oh, Brian's got a pretty high game.
I can't remember. Is Brian's 1 pin higher than me, or did he miss the strike in the 10th frame? My high game is, I think it's 278. I got an 8.
My highest game ever, 170. Sorry. Go ahead.
278. I had 12 strikes. Well, I'm sorry, 11 strikes, because 12 strikes is a perfect game, right? I had 11 strikes, but my spare was in like the 3rd frame or something. It was like an 8 spare, so that brings me down to 278. If you get your spare in the 10th frame at the end, you end up with like 290 something. Brian, are you 299, Brian?
You guys used to laugh at me because I would try to do the Ric Flair.
Oh yeah. Jim would appreciate that if he was on here. I don't see him on here. Nice spare. Brian, are you 299? You haven't thrown a 300, have you?
What does nice spare mean?
But the story about Pam, yeah. So if anybody knows from, I guess it'd be the 80s, but maybe even 70s and 90s too.
I didn't know who Ric Flair was.
Brian and I would do a thing when we threw a strike. We would do the Ric Flair walk. Ric Flair, Nature Boy.
Nature Boy?
When we would come back from our strike from throwing it. So Pam saw us do that, and she tried to. Oh, so Brian's is only 1 pin higher than mine. His spare was early too, but it was a 9 spare instead of an 8 spare. So he has a 1 pin higher high game than I do. But Pam tried to do the
hey,
Rob knows.
Hi, Rob.
I think that's the Ric Flair, Nature Boy. So he does this. He walks like this. He goes, woo! Oh, you did the Flair walk.
Oh, you would like jokingly do.
But then Pam tried to do it, and like everything else, I don't know if she had never seen it, and she was only imitating it from us, but she did it poorly. She came back and basically just kind of us, and we laughed really hard. It was a very bad Ric Flair impersonation, but I don't think she had ever even seen it. So
it's also
Brian totally did the Flair walk.
When we would bowl back then, there were always a few beers and drinks involved. You had to. It's bowling.
Bowling's awesome.
You had to. And if I tried to not drink when I was bowling, it was bad. Yes, you did.
Yeah, I think that's Rob giving the Nature Boy scream. That's perfect.
Yeah. I didn't know it was called Nature
Nailed
Boy.
it, Rob. Nature Boy.
When I hear Nature Boy, I think of Tenacious D. That's Wonder Boy. Uh-oh, we've derailed off of the...
Yeah, we keep derailing. Yep, Rob got it.
Is that why we got like hardly any people in here tonight? They heard funny stories like, I'm getting out of here.
See, you said you wanted to have story time. I was into wrestling way back in the day. A lot of us were, I think.
I used to wrestle with my brothers and sisters.
But
which I'm sure none of them are watching this.
does that cover all of our build stuff at the moment? So I've already said I am, I know I said I was going to push through the weather with the bales. I have decided, because we're getting it so frequent and so hard, I think I'm probably just going to sit out August bale wise, because I think there's a good chance that things could get a little messed up. So it's just not worth it to try and press forward just to try and get there a month earlier. So a little break here, unless we saw a big window open up that it looked like we weren't going to get any weather, but I don't know that we can trust the weather that much anyway.
Well, today it said it wasn't going to rain.
It looks like we have a stretch coming where it might not rain for a while.
But it looked like it was going to.
But working on those water projects, we need to do those as well too. So that's fine. So I think we're going to take a little break on the bales. Not that we had done the bales, but for that wash, Brian says, for that water line across the wash, can you just collect the line to your side and only connect it when you need to fill up? Sure. Yeah. So we've said that is an option. So we've said, and we've already checked with the people that we share the well with, they are okay with us in the future using that well as a backup. So the question becomes, how would we connect to do that backup, right? Would we want to connect the line that we have right now to get that water all the way up here by way of a spigot, the line to a spigot, and just do something up here? Or would we want to go down to the well with some sort of tank, like an IBC tote or something, and fill it up right at the well and bring it back in a truck or a trailer or whatever? That's the question, really. But I mean, they've already said that they're okay with us using it in the future in emergency cases, and we'll just pay kind of a one-time use fee, which is great. And I suppose the way we could access that is we could say, okay, yeah, when we actually do kind of cut that cord, we'll pull the line. Like you said, we could pull it over to our side so that it's not exposed to the wash at all, let the wash do its thing, and whenever that time comes that we need to actually use the water, we could just make that connection for a day and do whatever we need to do and then break that connection again. Then those things are on the table for sure. The neighbors have been really good about saying that we can have emergency use of that of the well water in the future. So that's really good. So there's a couple ways we could do that. We could leave the connection the way it is now and just let it kind of break. It's not hurting anything. It's just hanging out. And then just only piece it back together literally when we need to. There's a couple things we could do. So yeah, that's definitely an option. Craig, I skipped Craig's comment about, so I missed the last night of one of our bowling leagues one time for our wedding. I missed it too. We were in our defense, we were in the Bahamas. I was on the league too. I don't know if you remember. Craig subbed for me, and he ended up bowling like better than he ever has before, and he took home like money for it. So that worked out really well for him. Did we get some money? We might have got a little for the position our team finished in, but Craig got some money just because on the last night of the league they do things, and because Craig had only played a few times and he had sort of a low average, he came in and just went crazy, and he ended up getting a bunch of special awards basically for the way he bowled that night. So I remember that. We talked about it for a long time. I think that's all that's going on here. Yeah. We're going to be working some smaller water projects here for a little bit. Like I said, I think I said it, might have even, I think we bought the stuff before last week's live. I have, that's a long time. I have the gutter material. I am going, at least for this one, I'm going with vinyl gutter. I'm probably going to paint it because I have to paint I don't think it should require painting, but it might help. It'll look a little better. And I'm gonna have to paint the PVC anyway. Paint the gutter too. It's a white vinyl gutter, so I'll have to paint the PVC to protect it from the sun because it is going to be above ground. So, so I do have the gutter material, but I haven't bought the PVC material yet because I was trying to figure out this volume issue, right? So, thanks, Craig. Thumbs up out there, anybody who's watching, please. But I think that's about all that's going on. Everything's holding up all right. We do need to kind of remulch. As you could see a little bit in the video, some of the mulch is starting to thin a little bit. And I'm not sure if that's just because there's a certain amount of water that's going to start to move that mulch, or did I maybe not, maybe I didn't put it on thick enough. That's possible too. So I might try putting it on thicker. I've already started to kind of reapply where it got a little washed out, but it still does a really good job. And as Pam showed in the video, if you got a chance to see the video, I mean, the stuff that's growing up through the mulch, I don't think it would be there otherwise.
Oh,
it would be just bare
it's
dirt.
like a jungle around here right now.
It would be hard, bare dirt if it weren't for the
yeah.
mulch. So it's making a big difference. There's some places where I'm actually not crazy about it, because if it's a place that we're going to walk or things like that, if too much grass starts to grow up, that can be kind of a little dangerous for, like, we can end up with snakes in there and things. So we might actually need maybe like a weed whacker at some point in the future to kind of maintain some of those areas. But I think it is going to make for way better soil. So it's the right thing to do. And it does do a really good job with the water.
With the weed whacker, I'm not sure, like, I mean, I would like to be able to do the weed whacker and then put some of that stuff in the compost, but a lot of it is like creosote.
We have a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to put in the compost.
Or you're not supposed
and the other problem is a lot of these things are like kind of on the mulch. What I thought we would do, we'll see how it goes, but what I thought, a lot of this stuff that we're going to cut, we'll probably cut, and then maybe we'll have like a weed whacker and probably a blower. And they might both be battery operated, because we have to travel a little ways to do some of this on the property. So, well, maybe I think we'll probably just trim it and then blow it off a little bit. So I don't think we'll save now, but it'll kind of, as we blow it off the edges,
it'll just mulch.
It'll kind of become, it'll be a nice ground cover itself as well at the edges of mulched areas. So hopefully that won't be too much upkeep. But how soon will you be moving into your house? Speaking of, we might. I'm going to start. I told I think I went to Craig's house. I said I'm going to start answering all of Pam's questions about how long something's going to take with 2 weeks. Everything's 2 weeks from now on. So anytime you ask me anything, I'm just going to say 2 weeks. We'll be in the house in 2 weeks.
When is Craig going to be in his house?
Good question, Craig.
Yeah, turn that around on you. When are you going to start making some videos, Craig?
When are you going to make videos, Craig?
My lip stuff is over here.
So, anyway, I think we covered everything that's going on. Is there anything else going on?
I got a wood burner, and I still haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah.
And, I'm at my house now. You know what I'm talking about. Earthship.
Rob says got a good deal on a DeWalt cordless combo with the trimmer and blower. Oh, how about that?
Ooh.
I didn't even think about DeWalt for that.
Cordless.
Wow.
Well,
I'm sure a lot of brands are making cordless now, but I wouldn't have thought of DeWalt. It'd be nice, I have a set of DeWalt drill and driver, so I have some DeWalt batteries, and I have a set of Rigid tools, so I have some Rigid batteries. Rigid is Home Depot's brand, cordless brand. It'd be nice if I could buy something that would take those batteries, but we'll see. But I hadn't thought about going with a tool brand as much as when I think of lawnmowers and whatnot. I don't think of the same brands that we have, drills and all that. But now that cordless is happening more, I think the tool brands are getting more into that because of the battery, that you can kind of swap batteries all over the place. So I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good point.
My dad uses a gas-powered one.
And we could use gas powered.
They're pretty cheap.
I think we probably won't use electric just because of the distance we have to travel for some. So
yeah, because we'll be all over the place on the 8 acres.
But gas in those things is generally 2-cycle gas. You have to mix gas and oil and all this stuff. And it'd be nice to use battery operated. And that's a great way to when you're having a sunny day, and when the batteries get full on whatever, right?
Oh, then
that's nice just to throw it. Yeah, just to make sure that anytime you get full with your solar energy, it's a nice time to charge batteries like crazy with that extra energy. So
189 for
that's not bad.
A trimmer and a blower. I think we already have a blower though.
We do have a blower. It's electric though. It has to be plugged in. Because back in the day, it was either gas or electric. Battery wasn't an option. So we have an electric one, but how far are you going to run that extension cord? So anyway, yeah, I'll have to look at that. I hadn't thought about tool brands, but I'm sure that's much more common now. So $189 for both of those tools is not Not bad. It's not a bad deal. I wonder if they have a version that would use the same batteries that I have.
Christmas.
Or maybe that kit, did that kit come with the batteries, Rob? Because sometimes they'll sell the tools without the batteries, thinking that you've got batteries from other tools that you can swap in. So is that with or without batteries? Anyway.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
I think that
I didn't sleep good last night.
that is everything that's going on. At least, yeah, we're getting a lot of rain, but it is keeping us a little cooler. That's nice. There's been 1 or 2 days. I don't know if Billy, you would say the same, but we've actually woken up a little chilly a couple of times.
The
blower came with a battery. Awesome.
I was chilly this morning.
Taylor and Melissa, has anybody around this area woken up chilly? I know that sounds crazy, but I can't remember if it was yesterday or today. Yeah. I actually woke up and said, I'm a little chilly.
Yeah,
in July. That's kind of interesting, but
we keep the fan
we did have a fan on us, so a bunch of 20-volt max batteries already in the multi-battery chart. Wow, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking at either DeWalt or I don't know if Rigid, Home Depot's brand, does any of the kind of the yard tools with batteries as well, because I do have several Rigid tools as well. So
sorry,
anyway,
I didn't mean to yawn.
I think that might be it. If anybody's got any questions about anything, feel free to let us know. We like to put out our videos the day before, so we were a day late on this one. Sorry about that, because we like people to get a chance to watch them, so that maybe we can talk about them here. So if you didn't know, we did put out a video this morning, so hopefully people got a chance to watch it. Or if you didn't, please go watch it.
Yeah, and it shows.
We sleep with a roof fan on, so it does get a bit chilly. Yeah, it was cool. I can't remember what day it was, but I woke up. Might have been yesterday.
Well, I know that it's been
Good night, Terry and Michelle.
warmer.
Good luck on your new adventure. We've got some new neighbors, northwest to southwest, or future new neighbors, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Nice to meet y'all.
If you need DeWalt batteries, let me know. I get them at a discount. Wow. Awesome.
Ooh,
I will note that.
that would be nice.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
Anyway, I think that's it, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll go ahead and wrap up. Welcome back to Warren. I don't know if he's still on here. He said his connection wasn't great, but we haven't seen Warren in a little while.
Just got a gas.
Oh, Craig got the auger. Did you get it from Harbor Freight? Because that's what Bill got, and I think he's been happy with it. Used it over here at least once.
Yeah.
So yeah, anytime you're digging post holes, it's not bad to have. So that's it. Let's see if Craig says he got it at Harbor Freight. I know Craig also got a router. Night, Bill and Yvonne.
Good night.
Or good night. I don't know if it's actually good night, but
good evening.
It might be good night for us after this. But we got the one from Home Depot. The one at Harbor Freight went up in price. Yeah. Bill said they raised their prices. Yep. Wow. That's a hike.
Wow.
169 to 229. Bummer.
Dang. That's quite a hike.
I know Craig also got a tool that I've been meaning to get for a while. I don't have a specific job for it, but I've never had a router. Craig got a router. I don't know if he got a chance to use it yet. I think that might have been a Ryobi?
Yeah.
What did we decide you pronounce that? We've looked it up.
Ryobi.
I
don't know.
Anyway.
I can't remember.
All right, y'all. We're going to call it quits.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. No coupons, high prices. I'm done with Harbor Freight. Yeah. You just look for the things that kind of jump out at you at Harbor Freight, I think.
He hasn't tried the router. Try the router.
Try the router. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Ryobi, Bill says. Ryobi. All right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All righty, y'all. Talk to you next time.
Good
Have
night.
a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Later.